So I don't know if you guys saw out there in Twitch land, but Marvel Studios just released another trailer for their next upcoming movie, The Eternals. Right, this is the big movie. I mean, nobody. I mean, so let's be clear. Nobody cares about Black Widow. I mean, the CEO of Who asked, right?
Hold on a second.
It's so many years. It's so many years too late.
Hold on a second.
Let's go.
People in 2013 definitely cared about Black Widow.
Damn, scorched. Cooked. Yeah, Moon Knight. Yeah, people looking forward to Moon Knight as well. Oscar Isaac, though, that's going to be interesting. The Eternals dropped, and it looks interesting. So, the Eternals, for those unfamiliar, in case you could probably jump into too, the Eternals have always been here, right? They were created by the Celestials, which are kind of like the gods of the Marvel universe. We saw one of them in Guardians of the Galaxy when the Collector was talking about the Infinity Stones being created. We saw the purple one, which is interesting. And then in Thor...
I believe it was Arishem the Judge.
Boom, as we all know. In Thor Ragnarok, I think we saw another one of them, right? Or what we thought was him, because it kind of looked like Jack Kirby-ish, right?
Yeah. But they were styled in a Jack Kirby style.
Yeah, they're styled.
I mean, these guys are hundreds of, maybe thousands of feet tall. Like they're Galactus size. They're big boys.
Yeah. And this is cool because we have another property here which we don't really know that much about. Well, the general audience doesn't know that much about. Same way I really didn't know too much about Guardians of the Galaxy, but I wound up liking it, partly not so much. But the Eternals here have always been here. They've always been on Earth, right? So the Celestials made them. The Celestials came to Earth. They took up some people. They put them in a pot. Put a little bone in there, got a little stew going.
maybe you got a superhero stew going.
We got a stew going. We got a stew going. And then what popped out was the Eternals and the Deviants, right? We got the Eternals here who've been here this whole
Thanos,
time.
Baby.
And we got Thanos, like one of the Deviants. So a big question about the Eternals, like everyone's asking all of the internet. It's just like, yo, if y'all have been here this entire time, yo, where were you at? Where are you at? Where you been? Yo, where you been at? Where were you when Galactus was here clapping up half the universe? Where you been? You know? And I mean, listen, I can't wait to find that out in the movie. I think they might touch upon it. If they don't, I don't care. Right? I'm down for another story that has nothing to do with the Infinity Saga.
Just let it be weird.
Yeah, just let it be crazy, weird. Right? It doesn't have to tie. Nothing has to tie into everything. But I do like that Chloe Zhao, who's the director of this, is making this look like not a Marvel movie, right? It doesn't look all silly. I mean, it probably will be, but just the cinematography alone, the directorial style, like the shot she has, the way
it's fantasy as
with natural light. Yeah, dude, it looks great. It looks different. Galactus is literally smaller than Ant-Man. What are you talking about? Shut up. It looks like Thor 2. So some of it, like, so some of the costumes look like Thor 2, right?
Here's my Thor Ragnarok was like, all right, let's take a little bit of like a bunch of wacky stuff. Let's get some Planet Hulk. Let's get some, other ancillary Thor stories, but let's just make everything real colorful and real crazy looking. And Guardians is the same thing. James Gunn has a visual style that's like heavy on color and color contrast. And if you look at the Eternals comics and pretty much any superhero costume Jack Kirby has ever designed, because the man is the king and a genius, and I love him, there's supposed to be a lot more color in this. And for some reason, it is all muted, and I do not know why. Well, that's not true. I know
there's a lot of color. I don't
think it's muted. What are your corneas like burnt from the Zack Snyderverse? Dude, this definitely has color to it. What do you mean?
It has color.
It's just not neon.
I don't know.
It's not Thor Ragnarok color.
No. I need something brighter than that for
What do you mean?
Like, these characters are gods. They're lofty, give them something that pops. Like, I don't know. It just seems a little bland. You know what this really seems like to me? It seems, and I'll take this to the bank any day of the week. It seems like before the Inhumans got made into a TV show, this is more or less what would have been made.
Oh, okay.
Because look, Jack Kirby is a genius, but in a lot of ways, he also tries to drive home a series of characters and themes and motifs until they stick, right? And he's always had a very big fascination with the idea of gods, or gods that walk among us, or gods that look like us. So the first foray that he ever did in this is he created the Norse gods of Marvel. So Thor, Odin, all those guys. Then he jumped ship. Well, he also created the Inhumans in the pages of Fantastic Four a little later, and they're kind of like gods who live on the moon, and they're weird, and they have like space alien origins. Fine. He jumped ship to DC. He created the New Gods, which, in my opinion, is his single greatest creation, up there with the FF. And then he came back to Marvel in the late 70s, and he made the Eternals, who at this point are an idea that's been recycled 3 times, essentially. They're kind of based on Greek gods, but kind of not. They sort of toy with the idea of myth, that all the myths you've heard about things are actually them, which doesn't really make sense because you've got the Greek pantheon that already exists in Marvel. They're needlessly complicated. They don't tend to play ball with the rest of the Marvel universe. They're kind of in their own isolated pocket. So, I don't really know anyone who's a big fan of them. And I'm hoping that this movie changes that in some way. Because I also didn't know a lot of people who were big fans of Guardians of the Galaxy before the movie came out. I was only
that part's true. Like a lot of people, including myself, like didn't know too much about the Guardians, and I think the first movie kind of knocked it out of the park. I mean, we're given this fun gang of characters. Like it took us like off of Earth to this like neat space adventure. Space was fun. There's all these different planets, different kinds of people. I was like, damn, here we go.
Ragtag bunch of misfits, man. You can't lose.
Yeah. So when you're watching this trailer, you're just like, oh, the color's muted and it looks kind of boring. Is that what you're saying?
Well, first of all, my first impression of the trailer was they're absolutely cheating to try and get me to enjoy this, because they played a song that's, I would say, more iconically from Fallout than anything else right now. I mean, obviously this song has existed since the 40s, and that's fine. But like, come on, you don't play "I don't want to set the world on,"
This is Fallout,
and make me not think that this is like something Fallout related. Because you don't really see them in the 40s. You kind of see them in what I presume is ancient history and things like that. But
I will say the song choice is questionable, but I don't mind it, because I think they're trying to differentiate themselves from the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? Especially getting a director like this. I mean, like look at the Oscar-winning movie that she made. I haven't seen it yet. It's on my slate, but I have cut in to like watch certain scenes that were somewhere. Anyway, but because I was like, oh, but what's all the hullabaloo about? And I was like, oh, interesting. And especially someone who works in production, like I like her eye, right? Her cinematic eye, right? Like the way she shoots things, the way she frames stuff. Like camera movement. Cinematography, working with a cinematographer. I like that it's not like super punchy color. It doesn't necessarily need to be, everything Marvel doesn't necessarily need to be like the crayon box, right? I mean, maybe it does, and that's what differentiates themselves from like DC or something. But I personally I thought the trailer was good. I wouldn't say like I'm super hyped about it, but I love the styling, and some of the character costumes look kind of goofy a little bit, a little droopy, but I do like where we're going here. And I like that at the end of the trailer, there's always a stinger, right? That's sometimes not really funny. They talk about how, okay, so
the stinger where they're just trying a little too hard.
Yeah. Like I remember, look at the one for Shang-Chi where they have like Awkwafina like screaming and stuff or whatever, and then for Venom, oh god, that trash movie. Anyway, but here they actually give us like a little Easter egg where they're just like, oh hey, who's going to lead the Avengers if Iron Man and Captain America's gone? Like,
correction, Captain Rogers is gone because we still have Captain America.
Did they say Captain Rogers or Captain America?
They said Captain Rogers.
They said Captain Rogers.
Oh.
Who do you think's going to lead the Avengers?
Bro,
So now that Captain Rogers and Iron Man are both gone.
Do say Captain Rogers. Ooh, very, very good. They definitely were just like, because they can't say Captain America is gone because Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Watch our review on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, Chris, what do you think about the trailer?
I know literally nothing about the Eternals.
Nor should you.
Yeah, whatever. I think it's an interesting concept. We'll see what happens. I am just excited that if the trailer's out, the movie must almost be done, and I just want Kumail Nanjiani to have a cheeseburger or something, because clearly he hasn't been able to eat in like 2 years while they were shooting and probably doing reshoots for this movie.
I remember when he first showed off his Marvel bod.
Oh yeah.
And everyone's like, this is Photoshop. This is ridiculous. And his wife comes on and she's like, oh, it's real. And it's spectacular.
Listen, Kumail, I love you. But I also want you to be like eat things. But yeah, so I'm excited for something new. Like, let's see. I think that it's cool if it's its own thing. It just kind of dips every once in a while, and so it reminds you that it's in this universe, which could tease things that may come later. Who knows? But like right now, like phase 4 is an open book, guys. Like we have ideas of things that may happen, but overall, we don't know what the big picture yet. Like this is exciting. It took 3 phases for them to like fully bring everything together from before. We're starting from scratch, pretty much. So like. I'm pumped to see what happens. Rob Stark's in this.
Yeah,
great.
And Jon Snow,
which is fine. It's funny in that stinger where he's like, "Oh, I could lead them," and it's like, "Bro, we see what happens, Rob Stark, when you try to lead."
Listen,
but I think that this Eternals trailer looks interesting. I know nothing about the Eternals, and I'm cool to find out. I wonder if they're going to include a section where they kind of talk about the blip, the snapping, right? Because if they've been here all this time, I wonder if one of them or the group of them show up to Doctor Strange, and that's how he knows how to win, right? They're like they tell him how to win. That one instance. I wonder.
They could be behind the curtain of the whole thing.
Because the Deviants are the reason why they're coming out of hiding, and they've confirmed that the Deviants are in the movie. So the Deviants are like the Bizarro versions of them, right? Like they're mutinous versions.
If they're experiments, then the Deviants are failed experiments.
Gotcha.
They're the reject pile.
Right. Yeah. So the Celestials that came down and took people, put them in a pop gumbo, and popped up these people, the Eternals, and they're like, all right, look at these babies. Yeah, they're good. They got stew going. And then the Bad Batch, the burnt cookies are the Bad Batch. The cookies are the burnt pot are the Deviants, and apparently like Thanos is supposed to be one of the Deviants in the comics.
Yeah, that's his origin. So there are actually Eternals, presumably from every planet that the Celestials have touched. So it wouldn't be just Earth. Like if there was life on Mars, there would be Martian Eternals and things like that.
What do you mean if?
Do you? So there's like Skrull Eternals, there's Kree Eternals, stuff like that. So is it like the Green Lantern type of thing? Kinda. I mean, these guys are basically intergalactic colonists where they basically swooped up on early man.
So Prometheus.
So Prometheus. They made a bunch of them superpowered, and then they're like, all right, we're going to go do this again on a million other planets before, to totally screw with the natural development of society.
Intergalactic colonizers. Damn.
Yeah. So
what a way to put that is colonizer.
That's it. I mean, look, they force eugenics experiments on native peoples to rise them up. I don't know what more of an ideology you can ask for here. But Thanos' father, Alars, and his mother, Suisan, they were born as Earth Eternals, and they ended up moving to Titan, and not like a planet called Titan, like Saturn's moon Titan. So they're still of our solar system. Earth Eternals are their descendants all the same. So they call Thanos the Mad Titan because he's from Titan, but he is essentially a second generation Earthborn Eternal.
Wouldn't it be cool if we find out that the Eternals, along the lines of what Serge said, that like the Eternals have watched and made all this stuff happen because even though the blip happened, they know that they set things into motion, some worse things that are going to come down the line? Always thinking. Always thinking.
It was the Eternals all along. Why
were they up there?
Why were they up there this whole time? Yeah. Oh man! Well, one thing I saw somebody pointed on Twitter is do we think now this is a long shot, and this is where these Marvel fandom babies, they want to make their dreams come true. They're just like, okay, so boom, like if the Eternals. If the Celestials made this, that, and the third, and the Eternals are on this planet, like a part of the Eternals were Atlanteans. They're trying to rope in like the mutants like showing up in this, or like the first inkling, the first hint of like the Marvel babies are just like, hey, what if we have the mutants being mentioned in this one?
Dude, we got a bunch of mentions of mutant stuff in the MODOK TV show that just came out.
How was that?
Hilarious.
So, that was the Eternals reaction there. It looks interesting. I can't wait to see more from it.